I think the conversations with your parents would go a lot better if you were more just accepting of their criticism is fine. Like, but it feels like when it happens, having been around it, it's like y'all have all the Floyd Mayweather defenses and you start putting them up, but then they feel like they need to keep trying to counter it to like actually land the hit, but you keep trying to block them all, and that's how y'all conversations go. And then it gets drawn out and people get upset and there's fighting and it's like, just say okay. And the conversation would have been done. Like, it just feels the ways in which those interactions play out is unhealthy all around.
To be honest.
And I don't disagree. Y'all parents be going hard sometimes with like making sure y'all like sticking it, you know, you got to make sure it lands, you know what I'm saying? But I think it goes the other way too. Like a lot of that too is probably over the years matching energy and stuff like that. Like you guys fight so hard so they got to fight hard and shit. I don't know.
But yeah, Mateo, why don't you go ahead and lead us on to that beautiful topic you came up with?
So, here's a question for y'all. We all come from Hispanic families. Sorry, y'all. This is going to be some brown person content.
Yeah. Full spoiler. It's all brown.
Yeah, full spoiler. Some fucking jackass on Twitter said, all right, I got some criticism for you guys. Can you guys tone the ghetto down a little bit? But so in the clip, I'm like, dude, what part of this is ghetto? And he's just like, you know, all right, you're making me be more direct, okay? For us majorities, there's a lot of minorities on your podcast, okay? So that was his version of telling us to tone the ghetto down, is to just like, you know, turn up the exposure on the, you know, we got to just whiten up our image a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Let me help him out with that. I'm not brown no more.
So to bring it back around though, we all come from Hispanic families. Hispanic moms tend to be very meddly. Hispanic parents in general tend to kind of meddle in their kids' affairs. Should your parents be involved in your relationship? And if yes, to what extent? Like, when should they be involved in your relationship?
And we're saying relationship with your partner or your child or both?
Both, honestly. I think the child is a good one too.
I guess if you don't mind, I'll go with this one.
Yeah.
None at all. 0%. I don't think they should be involved at all, unless you see something that's concerning, like abuse or maybe just abuse. You know what I mean? Or someone's cheating, or they think someone's cheating. They can give you inputs, but on a day-to-day basis, they don't need to be involved in any part of my relationship. You know, other than just, you know, being a family member and, you know, that regular shit, but commenting and this and that and interacting and planning shit, nah. My wife watches these shows on whatever channel she watches it, and there's like, what's it called? Mama's Boy still or some shit like that. And these 40-year-old men, their mom dictates everything in their relationship still. And these girls are dating them. They're just like, yo, can you, like, what is this shit? Like, the mom will go with the son and she'll pick out the lingerie for his girl or his wife. I'm like, what? And then she comes down with her own version of the lingerie herself.
Whoa.
Yeah, crazy shit. And she's like, yo, your mom literally like has the same shit that you got me. Oh yeah, she picked it out. And you know, it's just crazy shit like that. So yeah, I don't think that shit's a no-no.
What type of reality television is this?
It's on it, bro. There's a lot of weird ones out there.
So I had this ex roommate back in college that he talked to his mom on the phone every single day. And I never saw him actually date anyone, but anyone he was interested in, he always texted a picture to his mom first to see if she would approve. And I thought that was wild. I just don't have that kind of relationship with my mom. My parents, their obligation is to be civil to my partner. That's their obligation. I don't need any other input besides that. Unless I'm asking directly, that's when you can give input. But otherwise, don't need your input.
At all.
I think there's a balance. I think the no input is maybe ideal in your mind because you think you know what's best for you. But a lot of times your parents know what's best for you. You know, as a parent now, like when my kid is a fucking dumbass teenager and doing dumbass teenager things, I have a hard time believing that the teenager is going to be like, no, I totally know everything that's right for me and blah, 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 and that I should have no input.
They're going to say it.
Of course
But
they're
are
going to
they
say
actually
it. I mean, we
going
used
to
to
know
say
it? Yeah.
Yeah, we used to say, right? Are they going to know it or is it going to be true? Like, probably not. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things. And I don't think it's just abuse, for example. Like, what if like a partner that your child picks is like encouraging them to like quit school
Or gets into some sort of drugs.
right?
And just to be clear, I'm talking for like our age example, like your parents
So what?
meddling in with your thing. That's if you.
No, I'm talking about
by
what
our
about
age
if it's
now,
a
if you can't-
17-year-old kid, 16-year-old son?
20-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid, like college age. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we're saying now that you guys don't know how to make your own decisions and think clearly for yourselves and what benefits you, what doesn't, you have a serious problem.
I think post 18, honestly, there should be no meddling unless, like Tony said, there's some bad shit going on, like abuse and drugs and dangerous drug use and things like that.
I actually think, like you said before, if it's a healthy balance, then I don't see any problem. You know what I mean? I think sometimes people don't know how to stay in their own lane and like, hey, you're my mother, and you know what I mean? You got to create that boundary. A lot of people don't have healthy boundaries with their family members sometimes, and they get too involved with each other's lives, and whether it be because of some sort of mental illness or whatever it may be, I think sometimes people get used to it and they think that that's normal. But I think as long as you have like a healthy relationship, which is like, I'm creating the perfect scenario, right? Because nobody really has the perfect scenario. But I think if you can make a healthy boundary and try to keep that and reinforce it, I think you can be pretty open with your like parents and stuff like that. But I think there are things that you need to keep private. You can't let, you know what I mean? You can't let everybody know everything and be some sort of open, you know what I mean? I think there's limits to everything.
In my life, I've never asked my parents for like sex advice or anything because we don't have that level of relationship. My mom bought me condoms when I started dating. They were, they're sex positive in that they're not shaming me for being a teenager having sex or anything. But I've never taken like sex advice from any of my parents. I've never gone to them with a sexual question or anything like that. My mom sure as hell is not picking out lingerie for my partner like in Tony's weird reality show.
My wife's not mine.
Yeah, and by association. No, I don't know. I think I mostly just disagree with you guys. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't care what age my kid is. If I think they got with a person and that person isn't good for them, like I don't think I'm in the wrong if I'm telling my kid that. And to Mateo's point, I'm not saying that I'm not going to be civil with these people. Like, right? Like, I could totally treat a person just fine and also tell my kid I don't like that person. Like, because I do it daily. I interact with dozens of people I don't like, and I treat them just fine and respectful. And I understand that might create some strain between, like, your kids' relationship and stuff like that. But, like, I don't know. It's just hard for me. Like, any other thing, though, right? Like, you would interfere, right? Like, if your kid just on their own decided to quit school, as an example, you would tell them, hey, I don't think quitting school is the right idea. Like, you would try to guide them into making the right choice, right? I guess why is relationships different?
Well, I mean, let's take it into like a friendship consideration.
Yeah, totally.
Like, if someone's mom on this, one of our moms was like, hey, I don't like your friend Tony. He's fucking obnoxious. I don't think you should be friends with them anymore, or something like that. Like, it's that appreciated input. Is it fucked up for my mom to text me and say that to me, or?
It's certainly uncomfortable. Like especially you're gonna want to defend your friend. Like, you might be like, no, I like my friend. Like, he's a good friend. I think it's fine. Like on one sense, it's a little fucked up because they're bringing some negativity towards you. Mm-hmm. But I would hope that their criticism goes beyond that. Like, you want me to stop being friends with someone because they're obnoxious. It's like, really? That's the whole thing? It's like, all right, I think I could deal with that as a negative with all the other positives that comes with this friendship. But if they're like, yo, I think your friend does all types of crimes and I don't want you to get roped into that bullshit, I don't see what's wrong with your parent telling you that and saying, look, man, be careful around this guy. Like, I hung out, like, growing up, you can ask anybody. I was pretty straight edge. Like, I did drink alcohol and stuff, but I didn't do drugs for whatever reason. I hung out with a lot of drug users, and my mother, that was concerning to my mother. So regularly she would tell me, like, yeah, I feel uncomfortable that you're hanging out with all these people that are like smoking weed around you and things like that. And I used to tell my mom, like, no, mommy, I understand. You know me, I'm still getting good grades. I'm still going to school. Like, I'm good. Like, these are friends. They're doing stuff that I don't agree with, but I'm enjoying their company, and I'm not gonna meddle with that shit, you know. And in those cases, it worked out. I know plenty of people that started hanging out with people that smoke weed, and then they start smoking weed too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I think a parent telling their kid, don't fuck around with that person isn't wrong. Like, they're just concerned. Like, I don't know.
Does that mean that any and all criticisms are allowed, and any passing thought, or is there a line where it's like, no, this is an appropriate level of concern because you have evidence to back it up or something?
I think there's levels. Like, whatever criticism they're levying against someone, I think has to be big enough. Like, otherwise it'll just feel very petty. Like, it'll be like, oh, you saw how Tony just threw his shoes over there?
He froze. Oh. This is definitely the one down. We're just going to keep going, though, because he's got local audio going.
Yeah, he's got local.
You've been quiet. What are your thoughts?
You froze, Pooch.
Am I back?
Still frozen. But
just keep going,
I think, once again, like, you got to create a healthy boundary because, like, yeah, you want to take criticism, and it's fine for somebody to be concerned or suspicious. Sometimes people are overly suspicious, and sometimes you have to deal with people who are paranoid, and then that's where you start to get into the issue of running into, like, people that want too much control. You know what I mean? Like, no, I told you to stop hanging out with that person, and it's like,
that's when you're like, I know how to, lead my life, and I know how to do my own thing. I think when it starts getting down to that, I think people want, especially parents, want, like, the best for you and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're going to lead your own life, and you're going to do the things you want to do, and you're going to become your own person. You know what I mean? And some people learn through other people telling them, and some people learn on their own. But that's the disagreement I'm having with Pucho, though, right? Because Pucho's saying, if I tell my daughter this and that, but at what age gap are you saying it? And me and Mateo are saying it's fine if your parents make a comment, but what is not fine is them trying to tell you how, when, what. That's what we're saying. So, I understand what Pucho's saying when he's saying, like, oh, we should, like, I'm gonna tell my daughter, like, I don't think that guy is good. He's doing drugs or whatever, this and that. But it's like, okay, we get that, but at what age? Like, we understand, like, high school and all this and young, but once she hits like 28, 25, yeah, you can say, hey, I don't really like him. He seems kind of funny, but that's it. That's fine to do. But telling her,
why does age matter?
Because it matters.
Why does it matter? Is the question, Tony.
Because you're a grown ass man. I mean, your mother tells you, yo, you shouldn't be out drinking with Caballo because he's an alcoholic and he does a lot of dumb shit. You're like, that's her telling you what you.
What's wrong with that?
I think that at a certain point it just is. I feel pretty self-autonomous in my life. My family being in my life is at my leisure. It's at my choice. I'm not living under my mom's roof. She doesn't pay my bills. I don't think I have a responsibility to give a shit about what my parents think about the things I'm doing in my life. If I want to go and spend my entire next paycheck on cocaine, I am a grown person, and that is my choice.
As a friend, I would advise you not.
I mean, by
You,
your
when you
argument,
do that, you let
shouldn't,
me
though.
know. I'll get a ticket over there.
Like, you're not gonna do all that coke by yourself.
Not by yourself, my friend.
He's just joining me as a saving my life.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm
him
saying.
out.
Like, there's an
Well,
extent.
hold on, I'm saying, but the argument you just made
It's by age. Yeah.
No, sorry.
Oh.
It is against you. You as a friend shouldn't and couldn't give him that criticism.
No. See, that's where you're getting confused. As a parent and as a friend, right? I'm saying to
When
give
do
an
you stop
advice.
becoming someone's parent, though?
No,
you're
I'm
not.
getting
No,
anything
hold on.
confused.
We're getting off. Listen,
Mateo said, "I'm a grown man. If I want to blow my money on coke, my parents shouldn't say anything about that." And then you said, "As a friend, I would advise against that."
as a friend, I would advise against
And I'm
that.
saying,
That's
why
exactly
is it
what
okay
I
as a
said.
friend to levy that criticism? We're talking over each other, dude. I'm saying, as a friend, why is it okay to give that criticism, but as a parent, it wouldn't be okay, according to your argument?
Parent or not, that's not what I'm saying. You're getting stuck on just advice, period. I'm saying your parents can still give you advice like, hey, I don't think that's a smart idea. And me and Mateo are both saying that that's fine. But to go further, the next step, what do you say? You're shaking your head no for?
No, you're not saying it's fine.
Yes, we
You
have.
just said
yes.
I could blow my money on coke, and you can't make a comment about it.
No, that's not what I said.
That's
I
what
didn't
I
say
said.
you said. That's what he said. Don't say
Okay.
that we agree with something if he doesn't agree with you.
Because he
You
just
look
agreed
good,
with me earlier.
Then
Mateo,
he don't agree with you now.
no,
No, we're mostly aligned. I don't think that there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with someone making that comment, right? But when it comes to meddling, when it comes to like pestering, mention it once and done. I know your opinion now. Cool,
Exactly.
It's fucking noted.
Exactly.
But if every time it's like, oh yeah, your girlfriend's a real piece of shit, or so I used to be a smoker, right? I used to smoke cigarettes, and every time I went over, my mom was like, "Oh, you really need to quit smoking." It's like, this is the 50th time you've told me that,
and I'm
I
still
fucking know
smoking
you,
it.
I fucking know that you don't like me smoking. I'm not here lighting up a cigarette in front of you. I don't know what else more you want from me. I'll quit when I'm going to quit.
Yeah, that's
She was
and that's
right
what-
though.
I mean, she wasn't wrong, but
Yeah, we're not
Not being
arguing
wrong
that.
is right. I'm saying like, because I guess some of this relates to the question that I had. Like, for some reason my video froze, but you were asking how, like, what is the level of infraction?
I
that
thought
is
you were just
necessary?
standing. I thought you were just standing real still, Pooch.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, for our audio listeners, Pooch is frozen in place because he's moving so still.
I'm moving, I become invisible like Drax. But like, what is the level of infraction, right? And yes, if it's, oh yeah, you saw how Tony put his shoes over there. Oh, you saw it's very petty, right? I think the thing that you're criticizing needs to be important enough to strain the relationship, because criticizing people, unfortunately, causes strain. Like, people don't enjoy being criticized. They think that what they're doing is right. So when someone tells them, hey, what you're doing ain't right, there's an argument, there's friction, there's a back and forth that isn't pleasant for pretty much anybody involved. Whoever's levying this criticism, though, the thought should be, this is worth hurting our relationship because I care about this person. So your mom telling you every single time to stop smoking, she knows you hate it, and she knows that doing this is going to alienate you from her in some respect. You're going to stop coming around because you got to hear these comments. I think, what's the fucking thumb up? So I think just stay in the fucking podcast, Tony.
What are you talking about, man? Just stay focused here.
Nothing. I'm not talking about nothing. I think whatever criticism you're gonna give has to be worth giving. That's all. And by worth is, it has to be you have to be willing to ruin some part of your relationship with the person in order to give these criticisms. I don't know.
This is,
I still don't think it's wrong, but yeah.
I think we're all pretty aligned. Though. I think we might be a little bit more aligned than we think. That like whatever that error of that margin of error is on it being extreme enough is just the difference we're having. This is an example.
Pucho's gonna be that parent we're talking about. Just letting you know.
This is an example. This is going to be an example though of saying that's what I think. That's where I think the buffer is. But at the same time, it should be noted, I usually don't give a damn about anyone else's opinions on my life. So you could just hold it, just keep it tucked in, bury it deep down inside.
Oh, they're just gonna tell you, Mateo. That's all it is. They're gonna keep telling you. Just get used to it.
I learned many moons ago that my mother is not gonna change, so I just have to deal with it.
So what? You just what do you do though? Like what? Like how do you cope with that? Like do you ignore or do you feed into it sometimes because it gets too much? Because you and me both have the same mother. Sorry, but we both kind of have the same mom. Like they input a lot. So that's what I'm saying. Like how do you deal with it?
Yeah, when you have to deal with Vanguard attacks, pincer attacks, on various attacks on the character and things that you're doing in your life, I think it comes from a good place. I think I can take 1 or 2 a day. I need more than that, and I start to get into defense mode. I start trying to dodge the attacks, and then you have parries. You try to parry them and reverse them, and that doesn't work. And it just I just have learned to just be a punching bag. Just take it and just be
I've got a solution for you. We're gonna build you a little box. And it's got to have a little slot at the top, and your mom can put complaints in there, and you only read 2 of them every day.
Yo, that shit will be filled within the first hour. Like, he would have to literally buy another box because my mom's almost the same. Like, but she's toned down a lot. But before she used to just give you endless amount of information or shit like. Oh, be careful. And my mom is my mom, you know. All parents are the same. They're gonna always tell you to be careful when you go out and drink and all that. But it's like certain topics. It just be like, why are we even discussing it? It's like, there's no reason for you to discuss this. Like, I understand, like, you gave me life, you brought me into this world, but it's just at 32 years old, you know, I don't need certain conversations to happen. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? Like, it's, and then when it comes to my kid, my mom's great. Like, she doesn't. I mean, she gives you little ideas, but for the most part, I honestly thought my mom would meddle a lot more into it. But my mom and my dad, they're both like, "Yo, that's your kid." But when he's with us, oh, we're gonna do what we want to do, like type thing. You know what I mean? Like we're like in a nice way. Pooch is going crazy right now, and I'm saying like in a way like, oh, we'll put clothes on them and stuff, but they listen to what we tell them. You know what I mean? But for the most part, they're doing a great job as grandparents, and I can't complain.
I don't know. I would need, first off, shaking my head calmly is not going wild over there.
No, you almost broke your neck. For the audio listeners, this man was shaking his head like a helicopter. Shit was fucking wild.
Wow. But I don't know. I guess I would need more context into like examples of how a conversation would go. Having seen both of you guys interact with your parents, I think you guys are poor at taking criticism. And I mean, it doesn't even need to be that. I tell you guys anything and it becomes a fight. So I think that's just the case. My mother gives me a healthy amount, and my dad too, a healthy amount of criticism. Every single time I talk to them, they have a remark about something. I don't know. They're my parents. They're going to tell me some shit. What do I say? I'll be like, all right, Mom, I'll keep that in mind, for sure. And I just kind of drop the conversation. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong.
All right, so you're the better man.
What is their percentage? No. What is the advice following percentage that you would guesstimate for these conversations?
Very low, for sure. For sure. And it ain't because my parents are wrong or anything. There's things I don't want to change. There's just ways of life that my parents disagree with. Like, You know, like I drink a lot. Like when I drink, I don't drink often, but when I do drink, I binge drink. My parents don't like that, so they make comments like, "Yo, you should really tone down the drinking and stuff like that." And I'd be like, "Yeah, mom, you're not wrong." Like, and
My
then
favorite-
I just kind of let it rock out. But I think the conversations with your parents would go a lot better if you were more just accepting of their criticism is fine. Like, but it feels like when it happens, having been around it, it's like y'all have all the Floyd Mayweather defenses and you start putting them up, but then they feel like they need to keep trying to counter it to like actually land the hit, but you keep trying to block them all, and that's how y'all conversations go. And then it gets drawn out and people get upset and there's fighting and it's like, just say okay, and the conversation would have been done. Like, it just feels the ways in which those interactions play out is unhealthy all around.
To be
Like,
honest,
and I don't disagree. Y'all parents be going hard sometimes with like making sure y'all like sticking it. You know, you got to make sure it lands. You know what I'm saying? But I think it goes the other way too. Like a lot of that too is probably over the years matching energy and stuff like that. Like you guys fight so hard, so they got to fight hard and shit. I don't know.
Uh-oh, that boy's awake.
No, I agree. I think, like I said, having a healthy relationship with your parents, and healthy being the key word.
Yeah.
Making sure it doesn't get into screaming and yelling matches, and it's, you know what I mean, that it's a nice healthy conversation between you and them, and you don't take anything to heart. I think a lot of people are very sensitive, and a lot of people cannot take criticism.
Yeah. And I will say, just to back up what you're saying, what you said earlier, even 2 criticisms a day is a bit much.
It's a lot.
Like, that's a lot. So if you're getting more than that, then there is some unhealthy aspect to this too.
Yeah.
Oh man, your blinds. You have your blinds this way. Oh, no, you didn't make your bed yet. Oh, and it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like this amount? Like, so like then it goes to like what Mateo was saying. It's like, there's a threshold that I think the criticism needs to, some bar that needs to be passed before it could be issued. And like, I don't know, you know,
It's like that pain chart at the hospital. Don't come into the hospital unless you're a 6 or whatever the fuck it is. It's got the little angry faces on it.
yeah, for sure.
I think because our parents breastfed us, and not our dads but our moms, and they raised us, and I think boundaries for parents are weird. I think that's a weird thing, a weird concept to get down with once your kid starts being like, hey, I need a little room here. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, hold up. Like, I've been taking care of you my whole entire life. Now you need some room? Where was my room when you wanted to be around me all the time?
I think the boomer generation has a hard time with boundaries in general.
Yes.
I think that they
Yes.
didn't realize that was a thing that you could just, set, and they like shit just happened. Like people, like they were the generation that shit just happened to. Like there wasn't setting boundaries. You couldn't say, "Oh, I don't like when you pinch my cheeks," because you hurt the hell out of them or something. Like shit just happened to you. Things happened.
Yeah.
And now we're realizing, like, no, you set boundaries, and it's healthy to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like you mentioned the one friend. I guess I have 2 comments. You mentioned the one friend the other day that was like, they're trying to go almost overboard, not in a bad way, but they're doing a healthy amount of teaching their kid consent. So like if their son or daughter says, like, you tickle them, or they may you ask to let them tickle before you touch them and things like that. Like, I think that's cool. I'm not quite there, but there's sometimes I tell my daughter, oh, give me a hug. And she goes like, no. And then I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, you're right. I shouldn't just be able to demand the hug from you. Like, yeah, that's fair. And just try to drop it, Meanwhile, a lot of parents will be like, I'm going to hug you anyways kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. There's obviously...
Sorry, what are we talking about? Can you just? I had to put Luca back to bed. What happened?
Sure, we're talking about how our parents' generation has a hard time with boundaries.
Oh, okay.
And setting boundaries, and we think setting boundaries is healthy. Telling people I don't like this thing, it's okay
Please
to
do
do
not
that.
do
Like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, but some people view it as a horrible thing to do, like you're being a jerk or something. I'm saying that one of Mateo's friends, they are practicing setting boundaries with their kids, so they'll ask their kid, "Can I tickle you?" and then tickle their kid as an example. If the kid says no, then they won't touch their kid, because it's their body, something along those lines.
That's strange to me, but I get it.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you're just
What's
playing
strange?
with, you're playing with your kids, right? Like you're just tickling them, like mid playing. Like, oh, can I tickle you? It's like, like I tickle Luca. You know what I mean? Like when he's laughing, I know he got a tickle spot now, so I just hit him with the tickle spot, and then it's like I should ask him. Obviously, not now because he's not gonna respond because he can't speak yet. But I'm saying when he's older, I should ask him, "Can I tickle you mid laughter?" Like that's kind of. I mean, I get it, but it's just odd to me.
Would you just walk up to a woman and try to tickle them?
No, she's not my child.
Well, what does it mean to be your child? Because this is the second thing I wanted to get into, actually. But like, what is it about being your child that you get to just step in and do something?
At a certain age, yes, I wouldn't do that no more. But like 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, like I'm gonna grab if you're falling real quick. I'm gonna grab you. You're gonna fall and be like,
falling.
"Can I grab you as you're falling?" No, I'm gonna grab you.
It's not
what's
to
the
that, it's not
border?
to that level.
What's
If
the
I saw
border? All right?
if I saw a random woman on the street falling, I would grab her instead of letting her fall too.
It depends.
I would. Yeah, maybe if she was smeared in shit, I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want shit all over me. But if she looked clean, I would try to grab her because there's a safety concern.
If she's covered in shit, you just like, oh, watch out.
So let me ask you.
What the fuck? It depends. What do you mean it depends? Give me what is the
to go
case where
back
you
to
just
your-
like, nah, fuck that? Like,
No,
what are you talking about?
Because I mean, they can sue you, right? If like let's say you catch them and some way they hurt, you can get sued by that. You can get sued by them.
So, sorry. So, what does it depend on?
What is their
Does
argument
if
in
they
court?
look like they could have, if it looks like they could afford a lawyer, you're just not gonna catch them? Is that what you're saying? Like,
I'm just not gonna touch them because then they can consider some shit like, oh, he touched me improperly, some shit, or he groped me as he was some weird shit. But to get back to you, because we're going
okay,
off.
so you will never help somebody in public if they're just like falling. That's what you're saying.
I would.
What you
But
just
to
said
a
you
certain-
wouldn't?
but depending, right? Depending on the situation. If
On
it's a,
what?
if it's a young
What if
person,
I was falling
if it's a young
off of-
person, I'm gonna let you fall. That
You wouldn't
what?
grab my
You're gonna-
cock if it was the only thing that you could grab and save me?
All right, how you for it? Hold on, no. I'll gladly go into this. How are you falling and where are you falling from?
I'm falling off of a waterfall.
Oh,
and
come
the
on,
only
dude, you
thing
get-
that you can grab on is my erect penis.
Why are
would-
you erect
to
while you're
save-
falling on
no,
this
that's
waterfall?
fine. No, that's fine. Though
And
I
my
would grab your erect
squishy
penis
balls.
and pull you. Yes,
All right,
I would
thank
save you.
you.
I don't want you to die. I
Thank
would
you.
save
I
you.
appreciate that.
If it was any other dick, that I don't know. No, nigga, I'm not grabbing that dick to save that person. That's all I'm
Appreciate
saying. It's
that.
just that there's levels, right?
I mean, knowing Doey, the odds are that other dicks are probably safer to grab than those dicks. You don't know where Doey's dick's been.
That's bees.
Doey's some kind of dick double.
But to go back what you're saying, Pooch, right?
Let's say you're at a restaurant, right, and you saw that there was like water on the floor, and somebody was walking and they were about to step into this like puddle of water. You telling me like because like you're paying attention in the situation, maybe you're gonna go hey, and let's say they step on it and they start slipping back. You're telling me you're just gonna be like, oh shit, no, fuck the litigation, all right? My hands were up. I didn't touch her at all. Like,
It depends how they're falling, yeah.
what does that mean?
Like if they're falling,
Like,
to
what's
where
a way they could be falling where you wouldn't help them?
With their
Face
tits
forward.
all over.
So if they're falling face forward, you wouldn't try to catch them?
no, they'll catch themselves.
Yeah. I think I would just react to trying to help, but
That's good, Superman. My bad.
No, I might get sued. Superman might get fucked.
No, but
according
I
to you.
wanted to go back to what you saying
Kids.
about asking someone if you got to grab them, whatever. Do you ask your wife when you see her, like, hey, I'm going to slap your butt for affection. Can I slap your butt? No, you're just going to slap her butt, or you're going to grab her and kiss her. Like, you're going to ask permission for that?
I think the flip side would be if you slap your wife's butt and she turns and says, "Hey, I don't like that. Don't do that anymore."
I'll slap her
Then-
again.
Right.
Damn.
She likes
Yeah,
that
that's
shit.
not
No,
good.
I'm joking. That's a joke. But no, yeah. I mean, like that's my thing. There's a cutoff. My issue with everything that we have here is what's the cutoff, right? What's the cutoff? Hey, baby, can I kiss you right now? The fuck? Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you to kiss you. I'm gonna kiss you because
I think when it comes to your spouse, your partner, though, it becomes the flip side. The example I gave, it's like your wife, like your partner straddles you and starts kissing on you. You're like, not feeling it right now. I'm good or something. There's more polite ways to word that than just like push them off me like gross or something. But you have to respect someone's wishes. Like if they're not in the mood for that currently, then fucking deal with it. It's
I agree.
not their obligation to straddle you and make out with you whenever you want or whatever.
I agree to a certain extent. Yeah, but
That means you agree.
no, to a certain extent.
What's the
Like,
certain
what is the extent? This is where you suck at
My
defining
wife-
things.
If my wife is sleeping and I crawl into bed at 2 a.m. and I start kissing her, and she hits
That
me
shit's
with
annoying.
the no. No, that's not a real no, nigga. I know my wife's no. She'll kick my leg and be like, yo, no. I'm gonna hit her with the keep going and kissing her and loving her, and then boom, that's it. Like the stuff moves in rotation, but you just gotta know when a no is a no versus a no is a no. You know what I mean? Like
I think
this.
a no is a no.
I
It's like-
think it's a lot easier if you just take a no as a no.
Yeah,
maybe
you're bugging
maybe
the
that's
Y'all niggas is bugging.
Nah, you're fucking bugging. You're talking about the. It's not even.
It's that one skit from fucking Family Man. 7 no's and 1 yes means yes.
Family Man.
It's just that you with your
Family
wife,
Guy?
you know.
I'm a family man.
With your wife, you know. With others, obviously, you got to ask respectfully and shit. Like,
I don't think that's appropriate.
there's a difference. I know you guys like to do shit
I
by
think
the
there's
book.
there's a certain degree of what's. I don't disagree that there are things with the spouse or whatever that are assumed okay, like a kiss here, a hug, maybe a shoulder rub. If they verbally tell you no, then no, this is not okay. But I think there's certain things, but there's still a line there too. You're saying where's the line? There's already a line, Tony. Like you can't just like crawl in bed and just put your cock in your spouse. Like that's probably inappropriate. Like unless
Yeah,
you guys
that's
have an
kinda beast.
agreement.
Yeah, unless you have a verbal agreement ahead of time.
no, that is kind of beast. Like, yeah, if you have
It's
an
not
agreement,
kind of beast. That shit is probably rape in most cases.
damn.
What?
Spousal rape's a thing.
Spousal rape is a thing. People rape their
That's
wives.
a real thing. That's beast. But
But all I'm saying though is there's already a line because you did say, yeah, that's OD. So unless you guys have some pre-agreement, most regular people would have in their mind that that's inappropriate. Like you can't just jump to that level. So there's already a line in there. Like so when you're asking where's the line, there's already a line there. We're just moving the line back a little bit.
not a line.
That's
What's
it.
the cutoff?
The asking what's the cutoff is where's the line, Tony?
I don't like line. I like cutoff.
Okay, well the cutoff's already there. It's at you know where it is. You know things that you can't do, the things that you can't. You're being an idiot.
For the audio listeners, I'm making a really smirky face. But no, yeah, there is a line. Or cutoff. I'm at. I just think with your spouse is different than random fucking people. That's all.
Yeah, we all agree. There's some things
Like-
that are assumed okay until they tell you otherwise.
Your wife
You
probably
could rub your wife's shoulder and it's probably okay if she doesn't say no. You're not gonna rub a random person's shoulder.
unless you're trying to catch them and check and see if their arm is hurting, right? Or when when they
No, I
slip, you're
don't.
like, "Oh man, is your arm hurting? Is it bro?"
I think
Like,
that's
you might
inappropriate.
do that.
Inappropriate.
That's why I wouldn't save a bitch or save a person. Sorry.
Wow.
It's not to a sex; it's to anybody, male or female or male.
The fact that you're thinking it.
Yeah, I wouldn't save that male bitch. That's completely what you meant. Oh, that male bitch is falling. I'm not gonna go
It's
save
funny
her.
that you say that, the male bitch. Just to clarify on what we're calling it. But no, seriously though, like with kids though, I'm learning new things every day. Like if that's something that's educationally, like it helps them, then yeah. Because I know. Was it you, Pucho, that were saying that you tell your daughter, or no? I think it was somebody else. They're saying that when they wipe their kid's butt or whatever, like if someone were to ask, "Oh, does your father touches you?" The kid would say yes. They told their kid to answer, the question accordingly and explain it just for some weird purpose. I don't even know how the conversation got up, but he asked like, "Oh, did you touch your daughter?" But yes. Oh, what do you mean you touch your daughter? I have to take her diaper off, wipe her, and clean her vagina, and make sure she's good, and I put it back on. So yes, I do touch my daughter. And then they ask the daughter, "Well, does your father touch you in places?" "Yeah, he does." "Where?" "Here." They're like, "Okay, that's weird." No, like she knows this, and she tells where and what. But it's like there's a difference to trying to tell your daughter, "Hey, can I?" It's like, no, woman. Like you're covered in shit. Like I'm gonna wipe you down. Like I'm not gonna ask you if I can wipe you down or not. Like that. I'm just gonna do it. You know what I mean? It just just sounded weird to me. That's all. I mean, but
I mean that sounds like they're trying to make a point of something. It's really strange. Hey, does your dad ever touch your private parts? Yeah, he does. Oh yeah. Yep, he touches me sometimes with his finger. Yeah, because he puts cream on my vagina. Like that's really what that's the way they want the conversation to go. That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's why I was like, and it might be something else.
It's like that
combat
Curb Your
like a-
Enthusiasm episode.
Yes, it's just like that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
But it's just weird. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people do weird things with their kids, and they think the method that they're doing it is good for them, benefits them. But I think some of the methods that people do just a little too much, or maybe I think too old schoolish in a way.
I think that'll harm more than it'll help. I think it'll get you in a lot of predicaments. Or they won't ask the follow-up questions, and they'll just stay at her dad touches her on her private parts with his finger. Like that's enough. And they're just like, "Whoa, fuck out of here. That's crazy."
Yeah, that scenario seems like they're creating a problem rather than solving anything.
And excuse me, I did say it's fucking stupid. I should say it sounds fucking stupid. Okay, I'm interested. Maybe they're totally in the right, and there's some research that says this is the way that you're supposed to say this shit. It just doesn't sound that way. It sounds terrible.
Yeah. Parenting is difficult. But
Tony, do our ad, do our shout out, if you will. Get us out of here. We've been recording for 25 hours at this point.
yeah, we're running a tour. It's live in effect, baby.
It's a long time.
This is the Tour de France of podcasts.
Will you say we're the Lance Armstrongs of podcasts?
Yeah. One testicle.
One big shared testicle.
One gigantic testicle shared by all three of us.
All three.
Four.
So for the audio listeners,
But do we take steroids though?
Right into the testicle.
all right, shut the fuck up. Y'all motherfuckers are tripping right now. For the audio listeners, I had a face every time they cut me off from my outros and my fucking ad. Jesus. That's the most aggravating shit. Shit gets on that shit. That shit grinds in my gears, boys. None of y'all know that right now. But
I think you would say it makes you tick.
God damn it! That was a great episode, by the way.
I love you, Tony.
Yo,
Sorry.
if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, get that notification of these hot fires that's coming to you. Spirit fingers and all. We're on all platforms. Also, this is the new one. We're on all platforms in audio form as well. All of them. Spotify, Apple. I'm not going to go down the whole list, but we're on all of them. All right? So Don't forget to follow it on Spotify, on Apple. Like it. If you still like the videos too, my face is always here to look at. You can always go back to YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter, all of that. TikTok. I think we're on everything. There's no reason why you guys shouldn't follow, subscribe, like, bring, and share. Please share it. Share it to everybody. Let them know how crazy we are, how too brown we are. You know, let us know if we got to lighten it up. I can get another 2 more kilowatts of lights in here. And
That's a real criticism we got today, y'all.
yeah, that's
we're
crazy.
Too brown.
We're too brown for people.
We're too ghetto.
So if we got to turn the ghetto down a little bit, let us know. Let us know. We're here to please everybody. Side note, I made a face. Fuck no. I'm here as a brown person. If you don't like it, don't watch the pod. I don't know what to tell you. But thank you for your support and your love. We answered for the audio only, for the fans out there. Got it to you. Sorry it took us 41 episodes to do it. This is episode 42, but dropped last episode. But it's here for y'all, man. We really appreciate y'all and y'all love and support. Also, I think that's pretty much for the end of this episode as well.
Tony, you didn't even mention that we're going to start skywriting our transcript. So over 3 major U.S. cities. That's our next big announcement.
Yeah. The whole podcast will be on a sheet of paper flying, soaring through the sky.
I don't even know why my brain actually acknowledged that shit. I almost took that serious. Like legit. Anyways, thank you again. And as always, people, go one up yourself. And to that guy out there, go down yourself. Brown and proud, baby.
Damn, brown and proud. That's the first one down ever issued, I think. So, fuck that guy.
Fuck him. We ain't going nowhere.